today we're looking at quite an obscure British action figure, and it's Daredevil. Nope, not Marvel's Daredevil. This is Flair Toys Daredevil, and he was a figure that was produced in the late 70s, early 80s in the UK, and he was basically, I think, trying to rival both Action Man, but on a smaller scale, and also the Gabriel / Marx Lone Ranger figures, because he's the same sort of scale as them, which is good because it meant that as a kid you could cross-dress them, is that right? You could put them in each other's clothes, which has led to quite a bit of confusion over the years when I sort of show you what some of the clothing was. And he was quite a well-designed figure for the time, and there are two variants. So this one, which I think is the earlier variant, had rubber legs and arms with wire joints, so a bit like Matt Mason. The later one, which is certainly the one I had as a kid, had more traditional cut joints, and certainly cut sort of ball joints on the wrists. But this is they're so hard to get that trying to find the later ones is almost impossible, and finding these ones is getting more and more difficult because unfortunately the rubber of the legs and the hard plastic of the body react against each other. So this is a tidied up one, but the rubber starts to melt into the bodies, and it basically ruins the figure. So they're not going to be around for much longer, I don't think. Standard elastic construction, so it means the elastic gets loose and perishes, which obviously adds to his rarity. He had a ball joint neck, a bit like Barbie. Quite a nice face sculpt, sort of generic Shatner-esque looking. So normal shoulder joints, a very Action Man styled or Mego styled ball joint on the waist, again elastic joints for the hips, wire for the legs, which again the wire breaks, so this figure's got a lot going against it for survival. The hands is like got the thinnest wrists in action hero history, very soft hands, no grippiness in them, they're just soft rubber. He could carry his weapons okay, but not much else. He's got sort of, you can see his ribs, poor fella needs a meal. You can see made in Hong Kong, and this is Model Toys, who went under the brand name Flair. I've got another one here, I think he's a Model Toys as well. There we go. Outfit wise, the only thing I've got left from the original run is this chest plate, which was from the Knight in Armour. Those are not his boots, it's just so you can stand up on the shelf. This one was in slightly better condition, but you can feel the legs are starting to get sticky, and it just melts, you see, melts the plastic out, cut it all away. But one thing I did manage to pick up, and this is sort of even rarer, is to get a carded outfit. So this one, unfortunately, probably the least interesting outfit they did, which is probably why it survived. No one wanted to buy it. So this is the Skydiver. So you had the Daredevil logo, and another thing that makes this hard to collect is because whenever you search on like eBay and that and put in Daredevil, you of course get all the Marvel stuff. A special breed of man, fighting, feuding through all the ages, risking all and fearing nothing. I mean, feuding through the ages suggests a bit pettiness, and there's a pettiness to a feud. It's not noble, but the artwork I remember as being just brilliant. And I see this artwork, as soon as I saw it I had to buy this. So nostalgic. For other Daredevil characters, see over. We will. Not recommended for children under 3. Don't know what they'd be doing with it. So the outfit consists of a very nicely stitched jumpsuit. The clothing was top quality on these figures. A lovely stitched jumpsuit, a very nicely moulded helmet with chin strap and goggles, a backpack that the plastic bag parachute could go into, and a pair of boots. Look how tiny his feet are, because he's only got little rubber tootsies. So let's have a look on the back. A special breed of man. It basically just describes what Daredevil. He was basically an adventurer through the ages. They were going to do a lot more, but I don't think it was overly successful. So the outfits you could get was Skydiver, which is the one we've got. Marshal of the West, which is just a sort of generic cowboy outfit. Knight in Armour, that was the one I always lusted after, and then finally got it, and it was another one of those like the Dennis Fisher Cyberman, where the chain mail used to just flake and get damaged immediately. It's a shame. Commando, like a British, looks more like parachute regiment than commando to me, but quite a nice outfit that was. A little bit generic, but quite nice. Show jumper, that's about the only other one you can find still about these days. Indian Brave, which is very reminiscent of Tonto up there, to the point where sometimes you see these outfits advertised as Lone Ranger and vice versa. The amount of Daredevil ones I've seen where they've got Lone Ranger stuff and it's not, because Lone Ranger stuff is just much more common. US 7th Cavalry Sergeant, I used to have that one, that was a good one. Wild West Outlaw, that was great because that came with a set of foam moustaches and things you could stick on your figure to make him look dodgy. It was great. Again, very much that's Butch Cavendish on it. That's who they're trying to copy there. Mexican Bandit, which I've never seen in the flesh, that one. Indian Chief, which was basically the trousers from the Indian Brave, but with a headdress. And then 7th Cavalry Officer, which is one of the more common outfits you see, and that always gets mixed up and described as a Lone Ranger outfit. So get to know your outfits and have a look on eBay, and you can sometimes pick those up pretty cheaply. For years I had my Dennis Fisher Doctor Who Tom Baker dressed in that outfit. And then you could also get a horse, and the horse came with various accoutrements for each era. And it says, "This is Lightning, equipped for every Daredevil character." Never had Lightning, never seen him. I imagine, again, very much like Silver from the Lone Ranger range. So yeah, so do you remember Daredevil? Did you used to have some? Have you still got some? Do you want to flog it? I'm always on the lookout for these because they're just so nostalgic. I remember them as a kid. It's a very, very underrated and unknown toy line. Hardly anyone, even in the UK, knows about it. Certainly outside the UK it's non-existent, but it was a great range, really high quality, and I used to have hours of fun just sort of dressing these figures up and playing with the outfits, because you always got good accessories with it. It was like, a complete set in a box, and the figures came boxed as well, so you could get each of these figures boxed or buy the outfits separately once you had a couple of figures. So a great range. Sorely missed, and I will keep my eye out for more. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks then. Bye.